Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khairul Nizam bin Usman. My topic is on development approval process framework for sustainable property development on hillland areas in Malaysia. I've taken up this research is due to numbers of geodisasters like landslide had happened in Malaysia ever since 1985 until today. And the most triggered factors and eye-opening for these issues is during the collapse of Highland Towers in 1993, which is it causes a lot of in terms of monetary and also life. And from there, geodisasters keep on continuous happen, and as you can see, the gap is quite nearly every year it happens. As you can see, the areas that involved basically started in the Titi Wangsa Ridge in Ampang Jaya, and now as you can see another part in Malaysia that have a highland and have a massive development is in Pulau Pinang, and you can see that 2018 and 2019 Georgetown and Tanjung Bunga have suffered with these issues. So the geodisasters is continuous happen. But we already have a development process system, which is the OAC currently. We have the registration, about 50 and more registration, including acts, regulation, guidelines. And also, we have the one-stop center that process the development for in Malaysia. And particularly is also have in for hillland development. However, the issues of sustainability hasn't been resolved. Meaning that if you have a property in hillland areas, there is no such guarantees of indicators saying that this area is safe to live in, and then it doesn't have a low risk to be collapsed. Then this is what I'm looking for these answers. Right. As I mentioned, the problem statement is the registration and standardized development process is ineffective as the geodisasters continues happen. And also from we can see we need to look at what the concern on the development registration and development process, which are the absent factors within these two areas. For that, it is crucial to develop a development framework, particularly for these highland areas. As you know, that in terms of development process, we have a low-lying areas, which is it is a normal process. However, we need to design a different model for highland development in the context of property development process. So in the research, there are numbers of issues, but I will highlight a few. Particularly on the event, geodesic event has been continuous happen, as I mentioned. It is due to the unplanned hill slope development, which already create problems to the local residents, development, and also issues on the maintenance, and also governing the hillland development. For example, it has a fragmented system, which is we have 3 tiers of government system, and during the process there are numbers of agencies involved, of which of these agencies have their own jurisdictions and power, and it is not centralized. Some of it they have indifferences of empowered, so that it cause the inconsistency of decision making, and also issues on the weaknesses in implementing the intensity of the legislation provisions. Meaning these are we're talking about the compliance factors, and also the effectiveness of the current development tools and also the guidelines. These are things that is lacking, which is most of these issues has been highlighted, and for the public also have give concern in many places, saying that what they are concerned is on the safety, on the land use planning issues, law and regulation that now that we are having, and how to manage the hillland areas, to maintain the areas, and the accountability of the professionals. And also one of the important aspect that have been neglected in the process of hillland development is the geological aspects. geotech engineering that is not being embedded in the process, which is not being prudently considered and evaluated. And also, as currently, there are absence of sustainable development indicators for highland areas. There is no indicators that is saying this areas is safe, this areas is viable to develop and whatnot. And also, there are other things on the reliability in terms of the sustainability, safety, responsibility, enforcement, and maintenance aspect. So for that, the research question is looking, one, what are the issues and problems that existed in highland, how adequate the property development registrations, and the effectiveness of the development process system. This is all the current system that we have. So answer the question, I have designed 4 objectives, which is one is to identify the issues and problem. Secondly, to evaluate the current development registration provisions, and also to examine the effectiveness of the development approval process, and lastly, to design the development process approval framework. The research model that incorporating the explainers and conclude the variables in terms of the highland development, looking at the issues, threats and potential. In the context of development mechanism, looking at the development process framework and registrations. And in the context of sustainable development, we need to look into the development safety, sustainability, and also looking at the aspect of conducive and contained aspect. These are research structures, as I mentioned. The objective I explained, literatures and research methodology. Research methodology, I have 3 methods, which is I'm looking using the focus group discussion, in-depth interviews, and questionnaire surveys, which includes the SPSS and in vivo for processing, and also verbatim processing. And I'm using the purposive sampling because the focus of the respondent is to the decision makers, including in the one-stop centers committees and also Jawatankuasa Kawasan Sensitif Alam Sekitar committees. These are the respondents. All right. And also from the analysis, I have 3 methods. This data of analysis will be triangulated so that we can look at the reliability and viability of the result. Okay. So as I mentioned, this is a conceptual frameworks. We're looking at the 3 independent variables, looking at the property legal framework, property development process and sustainable development. And the moderating is looking at decision making and also looking at the dependent on the sustainable property development to get the output of the development process. These are the design and fieldwork, as I mentioned before, and these are the summarize of the metrics of the sum up that I've discussed earlier. And these are the respondents, as you can see, the focus group discussion, interviews and whatnot, and the data method of data analysis, and the research findings from those surveys, including what are the issues, including the lack of development monitoring, lack of competencies, engineers, technical assistant, inconsistent and incompetent decision makers. This is some of summarized. And the internal registration is educate, but need for more on enforcement, need to give liability and to the and responsibility to the owners, and also need to impose the Strata Tata Act basically for gated and guarded development, and need to amending monitoring and enforcement aspect. In terms of development process, we can see a lot of findings that we look into. The process system is sufficient, need a stringent emphasis on the environment and so forth. And also sustainable development, as I mentioned before, on the safety marks and all that. There are about 5 out of 10 findings about being summarized. Looking at the effectiveness and accuracy, adequate but need some remedial actions. Issues and problem is on the decision making in competency and development tools, and also highland practices is adequate but need some remedials, and the needs of specific agencies, and so focus on micro maintenance and factors of safety and so forth. Another aspect is also need prominent guidelines, guidance in developing highland areas, and also emphasize on the geotechnical inputs in terms of the legal framework, and also integrations and connections of the variables, which is the legislation, development process, decision making and compliances. And sustainable development should be within the holistic approach. Okay, these are the main findings of this research, which is this is the framework, the development of a process framework for sustainable property development on hinterland areas. And the recommendation, the current development, hinterlands should not be permitted for any development with the current development mechanism, which is, there are a lot of issues that have been highlighted before. And as I need to mention here, this research also have referred to Hong Kong as a comparison, which is Hong Kong have a same system, but they have a single tiers government, which is they have the centralized agency, which is the Geoengineering Office, and also Centre of Engineering and Development, which is governing the hinterland development. And also we need the special area plans and also social impact assessment for developing hinterland areas, which is we need this plan before you can develop the hinterland areas. And also to impose the liability of to the liability to the owners and also to the developer in the context of maintenance and also safeguarding the area, and also to impose the Strata Tata Acts, which is the gated and guarded, so that the liability and responsibility is given back to the owner. And also we need to develop and set up a development monitoring system, such as the alarm system and whatnot. The total framework, one, we need to have a centralized agency like the practice, similarly with the Hong Kong practice, which is we need one agency that looking into the development process and also developing the development legislations. On top of that, to assist the development, you must have the tools, which is they need to have the special committee, and also must have public engagement programs before the development, and also looking at the special social impact assessment reports, and indicate the factor of safety for development, as currently is indicated 1.4, it might be to 1.5, and also development to develop a sustainable suitability mapping, and also geotechnical mapping and hazard mapping, and insert the geotechnical engineering factors in this, together with the Strata Tata development. In terms of all the legislation must be statute legislation, which is the Act is statute, but sometimes the policies, guidelines and regulations is not statute, but for hinterland development, the central agency must look into this and have to gazette these documents. To ensure the development of hinterlands is sustainable, the other aspect that need to be looked into before development has been carried out, to have the development feasibility studies, looking at the factors of development safety plans, environmental preservation plans, and also developers and property owner responsibility and liabilities guidelines, and also sustainable development indicators. And in terms of legislation, it is crucial that the approval process must comply with the legislation that adhere, and also looking at whether it is implementable and enforceable. However, this framework mainly for the pre-development process. It doesn't cover the during and after development. Okay. As the conclusions for the whole of the research, as for now, the hinterland areas should not be permitted for any development with the current development mechanism, and to develop the hinterland areas, the development process framework for sustainable property development, as mentioned and found in this research, should be implemented and suggested to be implemented to ensure the governing on permitting hinterland areas in Malaysia is sustainable. With that, I conclude my presentations. Thank you very much.